Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio, where we are here to nourish our souls. I am Norah, the host of this program, Thoughts by Joanna, on this lovely book that is powerful as we study. And it's beautiful because it's just one sentence, maybe two in some text, and we just enrich ourselves so much with the powerful, dynamic words and messages to our hearts, dear friends. So let us begin our study today. All right. So it says, compassion is a natural and spontaneous feeling that typifies a mature and higher spirit. At first glance, friends, we look at this sentence and we can say, yes, it's about compassion. But when we really break it down, it is very typical of Joanna that she's very poetic, and she kind of takes us through this little evolution of what it is for us to even get to compassion. So the very first part was she's like natural and spontaneous. That's almost that evolutionary part of us, right? So if we go into anthropology, there's an article that is published in a peer-reviewed journal and by Joanna from Portugal, and they do a lot of studies in fossils and in forensic anthropology. And this particular study was very simple. It simply said, can we find or can we trace compassion in the human bones, right? And sure enough, there's a couple of case studies, and one that was very interesting, so we can have a sense of time. It was in 1.8 million years ago, and they found this skull that had a missing tooth, literally, and it could be inferred, right, that this person had to consume soft foods, therefore had a special diet. And it shows that those in his tribe, in his group, they had to take care of him. Another case study was this other skeleton, a female skull from Saleh, Morocco, 400,000 years ago. It keeps moving, right? We keep getting closer to us. And they think that they found traces of a congenital abnormality, which means that there was going to be limited movements of the head and the limbs. So it could be, once again, deducted, right, inferred that there was people around this being that was taking care, that was showing compassion. And the last case study, friends, is super interesting. Now moving forward to the Neanderthals, and we can even see here this particular skull. They think that the person was blind because they found injury to like the orbital area, right, the left orbital. And then on top of it, if we look here at the difference between the humerus, right, and they think that this shorter humerus, the shorter arm, could be potentially some form of paralysis. And this person lived to be, I believe, about over their 20s. And at that time, it was considered extremely old age. Therefore, once again, already, right, in human bones, it's already seen that compassion is natural and spontaneous, because we have that, we are created that way. But we also have a part of that phrase, right, that Joanna shares with us, that it's natural and spontaneous, but it's a feeling. And we can go into the Bible and and experience the Jesus spirit, right? Experience Jesus, really get to know him through all the stories. And even that experience in itself, we're already building that feeling of compassion. But for instance, in the New Testament with Jesus' healings, right? He was the biggest role model here on planet Earth, and how compassion is powerful. It's transformative. It's healing in itself. in that other beautiful story on Luke 10 of the Good Samaritan that Jesus shares with the disciple, because that's the ultimate authenticity of of compassion, which is to help others, right? And the story says that there is a brother coming from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he gets robbed and hurt, and he's just laying there on the ground, and two of their leaders, like the spirit, what we would call like of the time, right, high ranked leaders, just sort of pass through this man who was visibly needing help, but a Samaritan who was considered at that time lower. He stopped. Not only does he help the man, but he takes care of him. He follows the next day. This right here is working with us in this feeling, right? These emotions, this tenderness that we have. So not only is it natural and spontaneous, just us being created, but we have to build our emotions and our feelings, have empathy for others, and compassion is such a beautiful gift. And then Joanna says it's a feeling that typifies a mature and higher spirit. So that's where spiritism comes in. This is the part where it's like, okay, I'm sitting here thinking about, where do I stand in all of this? Right? What is my part? What am I to do in order for me, right, to practice this, to do it, not just the physical, right? It's great when we give and we are compassionate with that, because that is needed. Somebody needs something, we can most definitely donate. But as spirits too, we know that there's loads and loads of ways for us to also practice our compassion, even with our thoughts, with a smile, with a bright hello, good morning. We just don't know, to the extent that something that we might perceive as minimal can actually be a higher vibration action that we do, that we continue to build on and to build on, so that as we mature and grow and progress now as spirits, then we truly are understanding compassion. So every reincarnation and every lifetime has its own experience. It's a journey that is beautiful and it's so powerful. And so when we think about this now, taking us back through this simple phrase, but we have this beautiful evolution, and we're even able to trace that in the human bones of our ancestors, of how compassion is in us. Then we go into the Bible. We know it's an emotion that we can build by using and being kind and compassionate. Then we have spiritism to remind us of the spiritual part, right? So we end this by saying, love one step at a time, one lifetime at a time, one smile at a time, one thought of a time. But when we are compassionate with ourselves too, and we're doing it little by little, it's authentic. I could say the word now, it's authentic. Friends, isn't this beautiful? What a beautiful and powerful transformational study that we have today. And we thank the spirits and Joanna for her beautiful poetry that is just so full of loads of lessons for us, friends. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Don't forget to tune in to other programs here at Kardec Radio, where we are always nourishing our souls. And let us not forget, we are loved. Friends, let's be compassionate. Until next week, same place, same time. Bye.